Good morning, Facebook family and friends. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope all is well. I hope this Wisdom Walk number 94 finds you living life in your own terms, doing everything possible. Sometimes it is impossible, right? Doing everything possible to get there, or you're already there, or you're doing everything possible to get there, or you're very close. So appreciate you all joining in again. This is Wisdom Walk number 94. Wow. 6 away from the big 100. So this one's entitled Racism, and it has a parentheses by that says ignorance. So I'm sure I'll lose a few followers, which, by the way, I want to thank those of you on my Facebook page that have a lot of ignorance. And because of the current election we're about to have in 2024, it's very easy for me to unfriend people, because normally I have to go through a whole process whenever I get to 5,000 and I have 15, 20 people waiting. Then it takes me like an hour or two to go through and see who I'm going to delete so I can let the new people in. So I want to thank those of you that's been ignorant, saying very stupid things on your Facebook page because I don't want to be associated with you. So I just unfriend you so I can let new people in. It takes me 2 seconds. So I appreciate that. So let's talk a little bit about the topic of today. Racism or ignorance. I know I did a wisdom walk, something like this before. Can't remember what number it was, but I felt based on the current climate, it's a good time to revisit, to re-talk about it. In fact, I wore this shirt. I know it's about Bitcoin, but it's the evolution, like the evolution of money, and I can also call it the evolution of man, also man or woman. You know what I mean by that, or evolution of humans. How about that? So I know Bitcoin, to some of you, you don't think it's really real or whatever you think. It's still the one financial vehicle, which is too late for many. But maybe in the future, who knows? That's made more millionaires than anything on the planet. That's a fact. So you can look up the numbers. Something 10, 12 years ago that started at less than $1 has gone up to over $70,000. So there's nothing on the history of the earth that's ever done that. So believe whatever you want to believe. I believe in facts, not people's opinions. I really don't care about people's opinions. I like facts. Anyway, so let's go back to racism. So in the current climate that we're in, all of a sudden, and again, I don't do religion and I don't do politics on social media, but I have to use this as a reference point because we have a second person of color running for the presidency of the United States. In the last 72 hours, a whole bunch of racist comments are popping up all over social media, which I just find that to be ignorance. Because here's the bottom line. When we were all born and the doctor smacked us on our little butt to make us cry for the first time, it didn't matter what color you were. As you grew up and as you were a baby and you started learning different things, racism and hate is taught. It's not something we're born in. So you're not born with ignorance. You learn ignorance. You learn racism. You learn hate. And unfortunately, for some of us, we have parents, siblings, or your sphere of influence, your people around you that you take after and you learn from, and you don't have a mind of your own. Now, I'll make a general statement. I think today racism will be close to being cured. I'm not sure if I said this in a wisdom book before. I can't remember. It's when or if there's such things as aliens and they land on Earth and try to destroy us all, then all of a sudden we're going to be one race. Racism won't matter anymore. It'll be us against aliens. And people could care less what you look like, what color you are, because we're fighting for survival. So to me, that will be the closest to curing racism that will probably ever be known to mankind. But I don't believe in aliens. Well, I shouldn't say I don't believe in aliens. I believe there's other species out there. I don't know if it's in the form that we're in, but I do believe there's something else out there. So until the aliens come down and threaten us all, we now have to do what we need to do to make this world a better place. Now, I understand there's a big difference between racism and being prejudiced. If you say you're not prejudiced, you're absolutely wrong. Because I think everybody on the planet has prejudices. Again, big difference between racism and being prejudiced. So being prejudiced is again something you don't know or you don't understand. I get it. And you don't have the knowledge to understand it. So you just don't know what you don't know. Just like I know I can have any single person with a brain in the world be retired in 6 to 12 months if you listen to me. But you don't know what you don't know. So when you're prejudiced, you don't know what you don't know. So let me give you a couple examples. And I understand this, but I understand both sides of it. But I think it's good to talk about it now. You see someone make a post, a comment on someone of color, do something extraordinary. And it may be a male. And they will say something like, let's say it was someone black. They'll say something like black excellence. And then people will comment, why are you saying black excellence? Why don't you just say excellence? Because the person did something great. And I understand that. And usually the people that say that are not black because they don't understand, they don't know what African Americans have gone through. People don't understand what Jewish people have gone through. People, if you're not that person, people don't understand what Hispanics or any culture have gone through. So what you have, and for those of you that don't understand why people make posts like that, it's not a post, in my opinion, of racism or even being prejudiced. It's a proud factor. Someone that looks like you does something special. So it's interesting that I read some of the comments that says, oh, if we were to put white excellence, we'll be in trouble. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, however, whatever side of the fence you want to be on, saying the word white excellence is kind of an oxymoron because it's expected, which is really sad. It's so sad to make that statement because why does the color of someone's skin matters to what they do or what they say or what they're trying to accomplish? It's the most ridiculous, ignorant thing in the world. But that ignorance is taught. It's not something that God gave us. I can assure you that. What I can assure you is not an innate behavior. It's a taught behavior. So people that have that prejudice in their mind is because they were taught that. You look at a little kid, a small toddler that has never been taught anything like that, they could care less what you are now. Kids are the most honest in the world. And I'll give you an example. Like my grandbabies, my oldest, Lincoln, it's been 2 different times now. He said to me, Lollipapa, you're brown. And he doesn't understand. But he's just looking at the color, and in his mind, it's, okay, I saw a truck that's red. I saw a truck that's blue. I saw a truck that's yellow. It's not a racist statement he's making. He's just observing something that he doesn't normally see. So at that point in time, that's when the problem starts for most people. How you handle that situation, what you say to that child, because that is the lasting memory. That's the thing that starts all the problems, or not all the problems, but many problems of the world. So sometimes I wish being a parent had an owner's manual, but unfortunately it doesn't, because God created us to reproduce, and God created us and hope that we could understand and say and do the right things innately, and teach our children and the next generation innately the right things. But some of us don't. And then you have that hatred. And usually the hatred, again, comes from ignorance. And it is what it is. So you have to go through the process of trying to understand, living with some of the things that you say, or you see, or do. And we, as human beings, have to decide, are we going to tolerate that behavior, or are you not? So the quickest way to continue spreading it is to buy into it and continue with the process of thinking and talking that way. Because again, this is a learned behavior. It's not an innate behavior. So as we have our children, and in fact, it was really interesting. My son said to me, he says, Dad, when the boys, like Nicholas, his youngest, oh, you can tell something's in the woodpile. And I got to joke about it. I'm sorry, but you just can't. You look at him and you go, something's in the woodpile. But with the oldest with the oldest Lincoln, you really can't tell. So my son said to me, he says, Dad, you know when that happens, I'm not equipped to handle that. And you need to handle that. And I said, absolutely, not a problem at all. And it's sad that he has to say that because he's a product of the same environment of the world, because as you all know that's been following me, I just rekindled my relationship with him, and it's as strong as ever. Best relationship I've ever had with him in my entire life. In fact, as I'm doing this wisdom walk number 95, I can actually say to everyone, as I am doing this right now, is the happiest and the most content I've ever been in my life. Ever. There's not even a close second time that I can think of. I'm talking about everything. Spiritually, which is number one. Just everything. Relationships, my amazing queen, my family, the friends I'm about to move to the next chapter of my life, which I'll be talking about on Saturday. But before I get to my 60th birthday, the second chapter, or this next chapter of my life is starting, and I'm really, really excited about it. And I'm finally in the position that I am really, really happy. And again, no one can make me, and I'm not happy because how anyone's made me. If nobody can make you happy, you have to make yourself happy. You can make me feel good. You can make me feel special, but you can't make me happy. So back to our topic. Hey, buddy. So if someone doesn't look like you, act like you, I get it. I understand. Because we are all, it's just like, and we have to understand, and this is some of the things I try to tell some people that I mentor, so they don't get anger because of the ignorance. They don't put themselves in a position where they become hateful, because some people don't understand when someone stereotypes you and treats you different, you get a level of hatred because of it. And it's a circle that never gets fixed, because the person that's doing it against you is doing something pretty bad, and then you're reacting from it pretty bad, and it's just this vicious circle that keeps going around and around, and nobody wins, right? I mean, it's just a sad situation. So your best situation doing it. And look, I get it. I understand it. It's around us. So it takes a very strong human being to not have racism because of everything's around us. You look at teams. You will have fights in the stadiums over teams. Oh, this is my hood. This is where I'm from. Oh, the Lakers is my team. So if I run into anyone from Boston, and both of them have a couple beers, which you shouldn't be drinking alcohol anyway, but maybe I'll leave that for another wisdom walk. Um, I'll leave that one alone for right now. Um, it turns out to be a big problem. Could be a fight in the arena. Could be a big situation. So that's still the same scenario that drives racism, because everybody wants to be part of their own clique, their own situation, and they make it better, or they think it's better than the next person's, which is the most ridiculous, ignorant thing I've ever heard. Just like the current situation in this country with the two presidential candidates. Look, I made a post a few days ago, and I wanted to thank all 46 presidents of the United States of America. All 46 of them. Starting good old with president number one, okay? To serve the country, whether it's been served by them for their own personal agenda or whatever, but they serve the country. I mean, you got to respect that. You got to respect someone that's willing to do what they can to help in their own way, right? So, looking at someone because of the color of their skin or their background or whatever, you're the issue, not the person. So for those of you, and I'll tell you a little story about my son here in a minute. Morning. Okay, that was a long pause. Sorry about that. So those of you that are struggling or feeling different because someone made you feel different, I just want to let you know the issue's on them, not on you. Don't let anybody take your joy. Don't let anybody steal your joy. Don't let anybody make you feel any different because of where you were born, what color your skin is, what type of accent you had. I had to deal with that, and I didn't have the proper tutelage to get me through that, because coming to the United States, I had a heavy accent, and I was ridiculed and teased so much in school that I literally forced myself to get rid of my accent, which I really wish I didn't. I wish I knew then what I knew today. Boy, I'll be talking with my same old accent. You wouldn't know what the heck I'm saying. So, so I would have kept my native accent, and maybe I should go back to it. That would be something. But it was really difficult for me to do that just now. So I don't think I will. It's been too many years. Let's see, 13 years with the accent, and almost 47 without the accent. It's gonna be a tough way to go back, but maybe I should try. I don't know. But anyway, so don't let that deter you and rob you of your joy and what you're trying to accomplish in life. Just shake your head and move on. So my son is a sheriff, and he has his head shaved for the last, gosh, I think the last 10 years of his life or longer. And just recently, maybe because of us getting back together and us having an amazing relationship, he's what word would I look for? What word am I looking for? He's embracing his cultures, both his cultures, being white and being black, right? So he's embracing it, and maybe because I wasn't there when he was younger, growing up. Well, I was there when I'm gonna leave that one alone. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone because I'm just gonna leave that one alone. But I wasn't there like I am now. Put it that way. So now that he has this great relationship, he is embracing his heritage. He's embracing, being from a son of a person from Trinidad and being black, right? So he started growing out his hair, and he loves his hair, by the way. And his hair is really, really cool. I wish I had hair like this, but he has this beautiful curly blondish brown hair, and he started growing it out, and he's been calling me, and we've been having conversations. He's like, it is so strange how I've been treated since I've been growing out my hair, because it's like the blacks are saying to me, I didn't know. And they're like, why are you trying to act black now? And the whites are looking at him going, I didn't know you were black. And that's the most ridiculous thing in the world. And I love the fact, and I do, I got to give him credit because, well, maybe he got some of my genes too, but his mom did a great job raising them. And, I had them for the early portion of the years, but after, I think about age 17, 18, well, maybe about 16 when they started doing sports, it wasn't the best relationship I had with them. And of course, we fixed all that, so that's stuff in the past. And I regret every moment of it. I wish I could take it away, but it's now 6:30 a.m. There's nothing I can do about 6:29. Whole lot I can do about 6:31, and I proved that in the last 4 years with them, and it's been amazing. And now my relationship with my daughter. Okay, I better stop because I'm gonna start crying. It's coming along the same way. It's just God is just so good right now. I'm telling you, life is just so perfect right now. So, so we have these conversations about. In fact, we went out to dinner last Thursday, and I was walking him back to his car, and he goes, "Dad, it's like I've never experienced racism before, and since I've been growing out my hair, I'm experiencing racism." And he says, "It's the coolest thing in the world because I just see the ignorance." And I'm so proud of him to say that because he's not letting it bother him. And that's the sad part about it. It's almost like bullying, right? So bullying someone, I mean, who is the problem? That's the bully. The bully is the problem, not the person being bullied. But you have to do everything you can to educate, not educate, but educate the person that's being bullied so they have the self-esteem. They feel better about themselves. They do what they need to. This is why I teach so much mindset training. And believe me, my four grandchildren, they're going to be in mindset training so early in their life. I'm already working on it so they can stay positive and not let the world and the ignorance of the world um, dissuade them from the greatness that God has given them to become, because God has given everybody a talent. I said this publicly so many times. Every single one of us have a talent to be great. Some people go to their grave before they learn that talent. And it's sad because what a wasted situation they've had. But we all have it. Some people just find it later on in life, like Ray Kroc, to open up McDonald's. Well, he didn't open up McDonald's, he stole McDonald's, but that's another story for another day. Um, Colonel Sanders and Ray Kroc was in the 60s. Colonel Sanders in the 60s started Kentucky Fried Chicken. So there's so much that a human being can do and take themselves to another level. Unfortunately, society and racism and prejudices and all the stuff tries to hold people back, but it takes a strong adult, a strong role model, a strong parent to put that person in the right situation to help change your life. I'll give you guys got an example. So you all know I've been doing this for decades. I have teams, I have people that follow me. Um, we do all kinds of different things, and I have friends that do the same thing. And I understand it. I mean, look, I understand it. Doesn't mean I condone it, but I understand why people do what they do. And sometimes the best thing you can do to understand bad situations or to deal with bad situations is to understand them. So one of the things I've always been proud of, I mean, way back in, I mean, I think I built my first team in 2002. One thing I've always been proud of, our team has always been diversified. Like, there's people from all lives, all sizes, all walks of everything, because that's not what I portray. I don't portray that. But I have friends that have built massive teams, bigger than mine. And when I go to their meetings, it's either all Asian, all black, all white, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Pastor Diego, our pastor in church Sunday, he was talking about that. He goes, it's really interesting um, how God puts things together and how people don't understand the power of what they do, even if it's right or wrong. He says, I'm a non-denominational church. You look in this church, and it is true. His church looks like my team. It's got every race, every color, every size, every situation. He goes, but as he was building his churches, and he has a mega church right now, by the way, his son Adam just took over it. But, he says you can go to some churches and you see all blacks or all whites or all Asians. Well, why is that? I mean, I understand the comfort zone that people feel by doing or being around your own or your type, but we're the human type. You know how much, do you guys know how much, let's see, what word am I looking for? How much joy, that's a good word because I like joy. Lately, I made a commitment to myself 5 weeks ago. It will be 6 weeks on Saturday that I'm not going to let anybody steal my joy. So, how much joy you can get from learning other cultures, learning other foods, learning how other people do other things. I mean, it's so rich. It's so amazing. But instead, we put this label on people, a label on things, and you're robbed and deprived of all this beautiful cultures that God has made, all these different people from all these different walks of life. And I know someone on here is probably looking at this going, but Clayton, man, blacks are this, or Hispanics are this, and Asians are this, and it's unsafe to go into a really bad black neighborhood. Well, it's unsafe to go into any bad neighborhood. It don't matter if you're black, white, yellow, green, or purple. It don't really matter. It is what it is. So you making excuses like that is just ignorance. So, but it's just sad that we don't embrace the human race. Ooh, that rhymed. Don't embrace the human race. Ooh, that should be a t-shirt. Anyway, so that was in my heart this morning to talk about. I'm back to the koi pond. So I just hit here, so I'm going to show you guys. I know I started these wisdom walks with you guys seeing the transformation. So I think the guy is coming either today or tomorrow to tear that all out. It's all going away. Bye, 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 bye. And it's going to be redone to match the rest of the yard. So the little babies are going in a pool over to the behind the garage, and then they're going to start digging this all out. So I'll take a before and after picture. But right now, I think the pond is about 6 feet by, well, it's kind of round, but 6 feet by 4. It's going to 17 by 14. So it's going to be a big one, a big one. So, oh wow, I'm getting all kinds of alerts. The gold is going up $7, down $7. There's some red folders going on. Man, for those of you that's been following my rules, I should be doing a wisdom walk right now. I should be making 6 figures in the market right now. But that's okay. You know why it's okay? Because it's not about the money. It's about the journey. It's always been about the journey for me. The money means nothing. The money's just a scorecard, just so you guys know. It's just like, did you get an A? Did you get a B? Did you get a C? Did you get a D? Or did you fail? It's just a scorecard. It don't mean anything. It's just paper. In fact, today, oh, here's my shirt. Sometimes it's electronic. So it don't really matter. Some people get hung up on it a little bit too much. I used to be hung up on money in my days before I was educated. And now I'm not hung up on it anymore. It is what it is. So anyway, everyone, have an amazing rest of your Wednesday. Did I say Wednesday? Ooh, I'm not running the plate of perfection. Wednesday. Um, and go out and do something special today. Go out and do a Golo. Go out. In fact, someone was telling me Lillian told me yesterday that she bought a McDonald's meal for someone that's homeless and hungry yesterday. I'm so proud of her. I love you, Lillian, for doing that. Um, Let me show you guys the boys. Look, I just fed them before I went on my walk, and look at them already. They're so greedy. Hey guys, you're eating my fingers? You guys are too funny. I'm not feeding you right now, but I'll pet you, and I'll love on you. I'll love on you guys. Are you mad now that I didn't feed you? Okay, fine. I gotta feed them real quick. It's kind of like trained behavior, right? Ooh, trained behavior. Didn't I just talk about that at the start of this wisdom walk? That we train kids to be prejudiced or racist. See? It works out with that too. So the trained behavior is whenever they see me coming up, they think I'm feeding them stuff. Let me give them a little treat. Here guys, there you go. There you go, you little greedy monsters. You guys are so greedy. But I love you guys to pieces. Anyway, I'm done. That's it. Love you all. Take care, everybody. Bye.